All aboard! For this stagecoach is about to move out, and it's for everyone that has potential and would love to be a superstar. Yeah, buddy, this stagecoach is leaving for Fun Timesville, and the Lord God is your driver to see that we have a safe trip. Holla!
Friday nights at 12:30, 9:30 on Saturday morning.
All aboard! All aboard! All aboard!
Say, look ahead, be there on Comcast C2 TV. I'll see you there.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to the AC Fun Time Superstar. It gives me great pleasure to be standing here with the number one.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Senator Marlon Kimpson needs no introduction at this point, but he's continuing to do the work when many are maybe not working on a Saturday. He's working on a Saturday because he cares about the community that he's empowered to serve.
I could not have said it better. That's why I had to actually do it. Got to get the professionals to do professional jobs.
Yes, sir.
Senator, could you give us a little tip about what's happening, and then we're going to go back and have our friend over here to talk about how he feels about what took place in here today.
Well, I think it was amazing what we witnessed today. We witnessed almost 1,000 or more students coming out to watch the movie Selma. And quite frankly, honestly, this was the first time I saw the movie. And I was just, I'm leaving this theater so much more dedicated to making sure that there's true equality in Charleston, in South Carolina. I am more now committed as I've ever been before. When you look at this, our ancestors and people that came before us, the things that they went through just to obtain the right to vote. Of course, during 65, the right to vote had already been granted, but there were so many obstacles in place so people could not vote. And I think DJ Cass said it earlier better than me. We have to channel our energy now into doing constructive things in the community. And so what we did today was we invited all the kids from Charleston County to come out and watch the movie. And then your own Terry Bass right here, he and many others, we had a panel discussion in each auditorium. I think we had 4 full auditoriums, and we had a panel discussion of community leaders so that we could interact with the children.
Great.
Because this was about the children. The children are our future. If you look at the movie, many young people led the civil rights movement.
Exactly.
And I think people, I don't know if you agree, Terry, but I think the people took something away. And they're truly fired up and ready to go, fired up and ready to vote. And so we want to do something constructive, and we're going to be getting back together with these children and parents so that we can do constructive things in Charleston to make sure that every child has the resources and opportunities available to do great things. My wife brought my wife here. We were just moved to tears at the powerful effect that the movie had on us. I mean, it was just tremendous. I'm so glad that this movie was made. Oprah Winfrey, I just give her big kudos, and all of the actors. It was powerful. It was a great day today, and I'm glad to be a part of it. There were so many other sponsors. It wasn't really about Marlon Kimpson. There was the community. I mean, Terry Bass got on the radio, DJ Kaz, Lady Joy, the people, the phone lit up with people wanting to contribute to this cause. In fact, I wasn't one of the biggest donors. There were donors that put up more money than me and Keith and others. So I'm just pleased that the community got. And let me say this: this was a diverse group. It wasn't just African Americans. There were many white concerned citizens that contributed to this. And we had students here from Wando High School, Academic Magnet High School, all across Charleston County. And it was a diverse group. I left the movie. There were a group of people who are deaf. And we had, thanks to Radia Hayward, we had the ability to show the movie to them so that they saw the caption at the bottom. And I went out and met with them, and they were so thankful that we invited the School of the Deaf to come and watch the movie, because many times when we have these programs, they get left out. And so we made an effort, a true effort, to reach out to everybody. And I hope the students enjoyed it. I think they
I know
did.
they did.
Yeah.
I wasn't present here with you here, but I was in one of the other studios, and I was just overwhelmed. Terry, what's your comment?
You know,
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Terry Bass. He's been in radio for millions and millions of years, and he's paid his dues. Terry, what's going on?
well, I was just glad to be here. So honored to be able to work with Senator Kimpson and DJ Cass, my staff, and just to have the folks come out and see this, and then to take the time to be able to have a conversation after it. Really, the movie's so powerful, you almost don't want to even have a conversation. You just want to walk away and just think. But but we pressed through, and we had some great dialogue. And I would just say to anybody out there, if you haven't seen the movie, you owe it to yourself to see the movie. I'm gonna go possibly bring my whole family back this evening and watch it again, because my time doesn't allow me to see many movies, but I'm so glad that I'm here today to have witnessed this, and it was well executed, and I promise you, we are now mobilized again. You know, I think over the years we've gotten a little complacent, a little soft around the belly, but I think people are re-energized when they see this movie, and we can go out and make this a better community.
I'm just going to start, though. The first question I'm going to ask, and I ask either one of you all to take it. We are all familiar with the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the holiday in his honor, and his dream of the beloved community. But how would you describe Dr. King as he is depicted in this film? Did the film present any difference in the way that you view him? And I'm going to start actually with our panelists. So,
for me, what I saw that I probably had not thought about was the fact that he kept his eyes on the prize. He focused on what the goal was, and he continued moving toward the goal until he achieved it. He was not allowing anyone to sidetrack him from the goal. So my encouragement to you is that you stay focused and keep your eyes on the prize for whatever that goal may be.
all right, now let's hear from the audience. Is there anybody who wants to answer that question? Did what you just saw in the film, did that change any of your perception? Maybe it gave you more information about who Dr. King is. Did anything help you that you want to share?
That in the end of the movie was signed by President Johnson. And just this past year or two, just recently, the Supreme Court said he didn't need it anymore. And they've gotten rid of the mandate that the southern states have to ask for approval for any changes that they make in the voting regulations. And I think that's a huge mistake. And I think that we do still need it. And I hope that people pay attention.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I see that young lady right there. Yes, young lady, go ahead and stand up. This is why we're here. This is because of y'all. Go ahead.
I think that a lot of us sort of pictured him as like more than human and like never messing up and never getting angry and always being like this perfect person. And I think that the movie showed that he did mess up and he wasn't always perfect, and it made him seem more real and human.
All right. Awesome.
All the parents here, I want you to know that we have given a lot of people suffered and worked hard to get voting. So you need to do that. All the students here need to encourage their parents to do it. And in a very, very few years, each of the students here will be eligible to vote. And you've got to be prepared to vote, know the issues, registered, and vote. This whole picture was about voting rights. Now, all sorts of things have come from that, but this whole movement and this picture was about voting rights. And to now have the rights to vote and not vote is really criminal.
America today, in connection with Jimmy Lee Jackson and what happened to him then, you know, because there is a lot of that injustice going on. Great comments, though. I'm going to turn it back over to
Do y'all want to share anything from the family?
For me, Annie Lee Cooper was key, and it was just that she was determined, even at the beginning, to go register and vote. And it was very obvious in the movie that she had studied and she thought that she knew what she needed to do in order to be able to register and vote. And regardless of what it is that she had prepared, she was still not allowed the opportunity. And the thing that I have to say about just the Voting Rights Act is that voting is a privilege, and it's something that every time the polls open, we should be sure as adults that we are at the polls setting an example for our young people as well. Getting the opportunity to vote is a privilege, and so I admonish you to take advantage of that opportunity every time it shows its face.
For me, it was, well, quite a few. Ms. Annie Lee, because she refused to give up. She stuck in there until she was given the right to vote. Mr. Jimmy Lee, because with him dying, that set the norm for what we take for granted today. What we as parents need to teach our children, that if you want change, you have to step up to make change. Miss Coretta, because she stuck by Martin. Even when times were tough, when things got hard, when they threatened the lives of her children. Any mother gonna do all she can to protect her children. But still, she never let the system, she didn't let the president, she didn't let the people of Alabama or any place else see her break down.
Next question. I want to make a comment about what the movie did to me. In all honesty, what I got from this movie is y'all. I've never been to a movie theater and watched young children more attentive than the way y'all was when this movie played. I didn't hear the joking. I didn't hear the laughing, the giggling. It was beautiful.
As you can see, we are all over the Low Country. We are now in Hampton Park. If you want to be a guest on the show, call us at 843-200-4487. If you've got talent, you need to email author.chisholm@AT&T.net. You can go to Facebook and Facebook Arthur Chisholm. And that's Arthur Chisholm. He'll be riding a white horse. Or you can visit us at www.tifm.ws.
Today we're at God's Ways World Outreach Church here in Mount Pleasant. And today we conducted a man-to-man conversation summit. This summit was focused on young men of color, ages from junior high age all the way up to adulthood, where we bring these young men together just to talk about the challenges of growing up here in this community, here in our great state, and also in the nation as a young black man. We covered topics such as how to start businesses, how to be successful in life, pursuing professions like the medical field, and even the military. So it's been a very, very uplifting event today, and I look forward for a continuation of this type of event into the future as we move forward.
Well, I don't know exactly when they're going to have the next event, but we extend an invitation to you. How can they get in touch with someone here? Because we want to make sure, because we will be here for the next event. In fact, what we're going to be doing, please keep an eye out. Each week, we're going to start airing at least 2 to 3 speakers on each show, because this is very important information that we should get into your hands and your hearts and your minds. How can they get in touch with someone here?
Well, the originators for this program are Miss Joyce Coakley here from this church, and then a Mr. Walter Smalls who assisted her in setting this entire event up.
Okay, or you can contact myself, Arthur Chisholm, Facebook, Arthur Chisholm, I'll be riding a white horse, or you can go to YouTube, AC Funtime TV, and also please subscribe to AC Funtime TV, and you can contact us, and we can get you in touch with the folks that's doing this very much needed program.
I'm delighted to be here. I thought he was pulling my coattail before I got up here. I got a question about being a longshoreman. I am going to ask you guys, we need more time to do this. I'm pondering how do you reduce this into an effective statement in just a couple of minutes. And one of the things that I want to do, I have a similar story to most of you gentlemen, and we have certain things in common. We have faith in God in common. We have family in common. We value, everybody got to value those things. Those are the foundation of me, foundation of you. To build a successful you have to have those ingredients. But now, it's hard to explain this longshoreman business, right? But I will take a quick shot at it because people confuse terms like stevedores and all that. Stevedores are actually the people that we work for. They are the people that get the contracts so we can move the goods in and out of this country. I want you to understand your role, the role that the businesses that you aspire to go in plays in your community, in the world. Being a longshoreman is not just a local thing. I mean, we were taught that we did good work here. We were the most productive port probably in the country and most of the world. But I'm saying to you, it's about the economy. We move the goods. If you guys, and I know you are, you're Twittering and everything else, you're keeping up with the stock market and all this good stuff. All that hinges on the trade, moving cargo in and out of this country. Now, I also went to school. I went to college. I have a degree, but the idea behind all of that is to make a living so that you can have a decent way of life. And in order to do that, you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared academically. Be the best you can be in your class every day. Be leaders with your friends. Lead them in the right direction. When they're thinking it's not positive, you be the positive factor. Don't shy away from your Sunday school teaching. Don't shy away from your mother and your father teaching. You have to realize that you are important and that you make a difference. Now, I tell you, this is a tough one for me to sort of race through this thing, but I can tell you, I went to school and I experienced some of the same things in the segregated school system, and more importantly, the stuff that devastated you in the integrated school system. But I had the confidence of God that I was somebody, that I'm just as good as anybody. My father, my mother instilled that into me. And more importantly, I realized I have an opportunity. Live in the present. The past is a motivating thing to me, but I seize the moment. We have to decide that this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to be, and this is how I'm going to get there. Being a longshoreman is a tough job, but it's a rewarding job. And the struggle that we fight in this state, and Brother Turner and others that are politically involved know that unions are not welcome in this state. Nikki Haley said it over and over again. I can tell you, I believe that unions are the best anti-poverty machine in the world ever created. They balance the scale. We don't want something for nothing. We want a fair, days paid, work with dignity, a voice on our job, to be safe so we can go home to our family. So I encourage you, invite me back and we'll go into the details of being a longshoreman and working in the industry that's vital to the economy of the world and this community. Thank you.
Anybody tweeting, putting stuff on Instagram, Facebook? All right, good. Get the information out there. Another way to get the information out there is this is being recorded by this gentleman here, Mr. Arthur Chisolm. He's going to have it, his show is called AC Fun Time Superstars television show, and you're going to be able to watch this on a rebroadcast, or you can go to YouTube and type in Arthur Chisolm to catch the broadcast. Again, my name is Raphael James from Live 5 News anchor. I've been in the area 12 years, and I absolutely love being able to come to forums like this. I hope that you see the sacrifice that the elders have gone through. I hope you learn from their experiences vicariously, so that some of the mistakes that they say they made, you don't have to make those same mistakes. That's what makes us better. That's what causes us to go far.
Back during the old days, the old folks used to say, prepare yourself because there's many days will be difficult ahead. But in times like this, we must keep moving as we take you downtown medical college. The 60s. So why don't you jump aboard? You can take a ride with me as we take it downtown. Indeed, those were some difficult days. EDDRENA Goodwin says, I lift my eyes to the hills, for which cometh my help. As I turn around, another one said, it is all well with my soul. And that's got to be none other than JAVETTA Campbell. But right now it's EDDRENA Goodwin. This is JAVETTA Campbell.
$2 billion through the CMS, which is the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, has a $2 billion innovation fund where they focus specifically on what we could do to try to change how we deliver care, to improve the overall population health by focusing on quality and lowering costs. That's the triple lane theory that comes from Don Berwick, who served as an interim administrator at CMS. Great guy, very famous guy for all his work around the triple lanes. But CMS made an investment of $2 billion into that. And that created an opportunity for any healthcare institution to apply to access those funds if you can find a way to lower costs, improve quality, and improve population health. That's the main frame of the ACA in the first 4 years. Last year, which is the big year, is when the coverage was expanded for everyone. 32 million people now have access to shop for health insurance coverage. 32 million people. It was about 8 million people signed up in the last year. We've already surpassed that mark this year, like another 9.5 million people this year have enrolled in coverage. So as you can see, unprecedented ways in people are accessing health insurance coverage. They now have prescription drug coverage. They now have an insurance company that will reimburse for services provided. This is a big deal, particularly for institutions who are losing lots of money to uncompensated care. They have patients who now have insurance coverage. The last thing I'll mention, this is somewhat controversial right now, are tax credits. So how it made coverage more affordable is that people were able to buy health insurance, and based upon your income, you could qualify for financial aid or financial assistance through a tax credit up front to buy your insurance. This is real life transformation for many families. I remember having a conversation with my brother who went to Connecticut to help implement healthcare reform in Connecticut and do outreach to enroll people in coverage. And he told me a story about a family of four, husband and wife, 2 kids, who the family largely had been uninsured for 8 years. 8 years, because they both worked, had jobs that didn't provide coverage. The kids, as they got older, weren't eligible for Medicaid any longer. And so they walked into my brother, he took them through the process on the website. They ended up getting health insurance coverage for their family that cost them $48 for the entire year. Not a month, but $48 for the entire year, $4 a month. So those tax credits are really important. And why am I emphasizing that? Because there's a Supreme Court decision that will be pending sometime this summer or this fall about whether tax credits will stay available to people in states like South Carolina, where many people are accessing them and it's lowering the cost of their health insurance coverage. But there's a chance that they could lose that because the Supreme Court is going to decide whether tax credits are legal in states that did not operate their own health insurance marketplace. That's one of the things that I wanted to point out.
That means I have a 3% chance of getting measles if I'm around here with measles.
the same things that happened in '69 is happening right now. We have a nurse of 28 years fired, a nurse of 19 and a half years fired without due process, a flawed grievance machinery. One of the things that was promised to the workers as that strike issue was resolved in '69. So the audacity of this board to say we only handle numbers. These numbers will go down drastically if this is allowed to continue to happen. They cannot deliver effective health care and disregard the workers. The doctors spend 10 minutes with the patient, nurses spend the whole day. We got to ensure for the health of this community, better service to the patient and the workers and this community. We got to ensure that they have justice on the job. We got to ensure that their issues is brought before this board. They say they don't have no room for them on the agenda, and they're showing it. They have disallowed our participation as workers. We have workers in this group right now, from '69 to present, that's not been allowed to be heard before this board. I would submit to you that the health of the workers, mental health of the workers, is just as important as the building project that they're talking about. It's just as important as measles prevention. The health of this community will collapse on these neglect housed in this board. So the message here today is that we're going to keep coming back until the workers, in fact, get placed on this agenda where they can express their discontent and express their desire to freely express their concerns at this hospital. Whistleblower protection is absent. People that blow whistles get fired here. That's right. And we have to make sure that these things do not continue to happen. So we I'm proud of the people that's here today standing in this cold weather because this is very, very important, and we're going to keep coming back.
Just to piggyback on that, it's all about, we have this new council here that Dr. Gold has established called the Diversity and Inclusion Advisory Council. Diversity is one thing. That's where you look at numbers. But inclusion is something entirely different. And what we heard Mr. Gunn in there speak about, seeing as how he's a former football player, he talked about that 5-man line and how they got to be on the same page or else the people behind them get killed. Well, right now, the only people on that 5-man line that are on the same page are those people that are sitting in there. There's a whole team of people that are not being included in this dialogue. It's the workers, it's the nurses, it's the minority, it's the food service people, the cleaning, housekeeping. It's a whole group of people that are not being included in this dialogue that they say that this is about diversity and inclusion, and really it's not about diversity and inclusion, it's about exclusion. So if they're talking about the team concept, apparently people are going to get killed because they're not playing by the team concept. And the people that's going to suffer and be killed by that are the patients, not them that's sitting there, because they have great care. They come here and they use their name and they're going to get the best care possible. They'll go to the suites in the hospital and carrying on. But the little people like you and I who deserve quality health care, we're going to come here, and because the workers here are not included in the team, there's a chance that people are going to get killed. It starts at the top and trickles down. If the top blocks everything as far as inclusion, fairness, equity, then at the bottom you're going to get dissension, half-hearted employees that are not going to do a great job. And the people in healthcare that get affected by that are the patients.
No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
Forward together!
Not one step back!
We will win.
It's come.